to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From big TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, happy new year, everybody. Lee Sanders with you all for this first 2026 edition of the RCWR show for this Monday night of January 5th, 2025, the 1-year WWE on Raw Netflix anniversary. At that, sound off. Let me know what you thought about tonight's WWE Raw. Got a poll up over on Twitter/X right now at the RCWR show. You guys can vote that way and sound off. Keeping it simple for you guys tonight. We got thumbs up, we got thumbs down, we got staying in the middle. That's pretty much how we're going to be doing it. It's kind of interesting because as long as I have been doing this show, and you got to understand, when I review all these wrestling shows and everything, there's definitely the fan part of me that first and foremost is looking at the show, right? But then there's a second lens that comes automatically within the fan in me that's watching the show, and that is, I don't want to say critical analysis because it's just too strong. But I am thinking about how the shows are from an analytical perspective, right? Not being too critical, but just, I am looking at it from multiple ways. And the one thing that has always been a constant up to this point with the very first Raw of the new calendar year is the shows, usually that first one out the gate kicking off the new year, it gives you something to talk about, like you are hyped, especially when Royal Rumble is just around the corner, and it is. We're only a couple of weeks away from the Royal Rumble, but this first new Raw of the calendar year, look, I gotta say, as far as the matches go, the matches were pretty solid, but there was something that just felt kind of missing. I can't quite put my finger on it. I really wish I could, but something just felt missing. Now, before you guys jump in, maybe some of you guys are thinking, Chris Jericho, Lee? Maybe that Chris Jericho? And I kept telling you guys for weeks and weeks upon weeks. We even went back a couple of months. As soon as all the little chatter started about Chris Jericho, I was one of the first, if not the first, definitely among the first for sure, to say, look, as far as Chris Jericho, why even have him appear on the first new Raw of the new calendar year? And I went a step further than that, and I said, if you're going to do business with Chris Jericho, if you're WWE, and you got the opportunity to do something with him, if anything, it makes more sense to have Chris Jericho return at the Royal Rumble, because the last couple of years, the Royal Rumbles have been, let's be honest, nothing surprising. Oh my God, I haven't seen that person in, nothing that was really, truly memorable. So if you're going to do something involving Jericho in WWE, my whole thing was, no, let it go down at a PLE. Now, I liked how we had some wrestling sites, not naming any particular. I don't want any of them feeling like, oh, we getting hate. But I found it interesting how a couple of websites tried to cover their bases by saying, internally, Chris Jericho is not even on the schedule for tonight's show. There's no word that Chris Jericho is even scheduled to appear on tonight's show. That's just them basically covering their bases, right? They're just trying to make sure that no matter how it plays out, right? I got 20 on black, I got 15 on red, I got 100 on green. They're just making sure they're covering all their spreads. Okay, that way it's kind of like, well, look, we said, internally, but ha 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 ha, it's a way with words and everything. We'll talk more about WWE Raw in a little bit as main event match of the night featured CM Punk taking on Bron Breakker for what was definitely, without a doubt, a solid ass main event match, without a doubt. Also, I will go over the Lee Sanders presents the 2025 Wrestling Awards. Polled you guys on our YouTube channel last week, and I said, look, let your voices be heard. When would you like the voting to begin? And before the weekend closed out, a decent amount of you represented, and you basically said, yo, if Monday, January 5th, 2026 can be the start of the voting, let's have at it. So that's exactly what went down. I actually opened it up a day earlier. A day earlier. So if you're connected to me throughout social media, then you know the voting is underway. Go vote. We have the link available in the episode description of this very episode you're checking out right now. Now, if you're checking this out maybe via Twitter, that's kind of tricky because you can't really look at the episode description. But you got the next best thing. If you're on Twitter/X, you can just go look at one of the most recent tweets that I put out because I really hadn't been tweeting like that tonight. And you'll be able to easily find it, or you can go on over to the Facebook page. We'll go over the categories in full later on during the show. Got some really fun categories. We'll also revisit the 2024 Wrestling Award winners. I know we talked about it, we revealed it already, but it's just kind of nice to go down memory lane. I hope 2026 is off to a fantastic start for you all. Mine's definitely off to a very good start. I actually secured my parking for spring semester. I'll be heading on back in a couple of weeks. It's been a nice little break so far. I've actually got some in-laws coming from out of town later this week as we have funeral services for a friend in the family, which you guys definitely know about. I've been talking about off and on the past couple of weeks. Funeral service is going to be held for him this Friday, and we got some in-laws that's going to be coming to stay here at the house. We got the space, so but they're going to be coming over the course of the next couple of days. So I've been taking it easy, laying low, straightening up the place here and there, just kind of getting things ready and all that. But honestly, 2026, like, no complaints so far. It's going off pretty good without a hitch. So if you got some fun stories, love to know what you did for your New Year's weekend, because I know some of you guys had a nice little extended break. I mean, my God, we had New Year's on Thursday, and then pretty much the party just kept going Friday, Saturday, even Sunday for some of you guys. Yeah, I just took it easy though. So let's get into this with tonight's WWE Raw from Brooklyn. I'm always sentimental when it comes to the New York crowd. I love New York every chance that I get. I love hanging out there in New York. But I got to tell you, that Brooklyn crowd tonight, especially by the time that we got to the main event match, were they not entertained? Yeah, they just kind of seemed very clocked out, just a little bursts here and there throughout the show. But it just kind of felt like they really were not into at least the main event match. I'll give them that. It felt like they really weren't into the main event match, but when I really play the crowd back in my mind, there were certain moments scattered all throughout the night where the crowd just, we don't particularly care for this. We'll join in on the little theme song, maybe the little chant, but beyond that, we're kind of not really there. I don't know if that was New Year's jet lag that was going on or what. Your guess is as good as mine. This was definitely one of those cases where I'm actually glad that I had, for the most part, my TV on mute so I could just really take in the in-ring action. Corey Graves, Michael Cole, our new commentary team going forward for Monday Night Raw. Love the Stranger Themes integration that they did with this. And I, full disclosure, I have not watched one episode of Stranger Things. I've heard so much about it. Friends have been telling me and the wife, you got to watch Stranger Things. You got to watch Stranger Things. And so now that the series is like over, and I've got Netflix, I definitely will be finding the opportunities to check it out. There's just so much stuff. Like, you know how it is. You know how it is, unfortunately. It's like, have you watched this series on this app? And then it's like, well, have you watched this over here on Apple TV? Have you watched this over here on Hulu Plus? Well, don't forget Crunchyroll's got this going on over here. It's just crazy. Look, full disclosure and true story. I was messing around with the Cartoon Network over the weekend, and I actually came across this show that I did not even know existed. And I was baffled when I found out this show has been in existence since 2011. A series called Off the Air. I was just flipping through the channels on the weekend and I just came across this. I'm like, what the hell is it? And I just put the remote down and I'm like, how did I not come across this in years prior? What the hell is going on? So to my whole point, there's just so much that's out there and then so little time. But it is on my bucket list to check out Stranger Things. I will be checking it out. But yeah, I love the collaboration that WWE did with Stranger Things. The way they had the stage by the main ramp area set up. I love all those little nostalgic designs, stuff from the actual Stranger Things series, from like key episodes and all that. I thought all that was very well played out. I love some of the social media promotion that WWE was utilizing. It's kind of funny because at one point I was seeing a series of tweets that WWE was putting out promoting their Stranger Things collaboration. And a lot of the stuff that they were promoting, it was backwards and upside down. And I found myself going, I don't know what's more stranger, this WWE Stranger Things collaboration or the fact that I'm able to read what was posted upside down, reversed. I was able to read it in one take, which now kind of has me going, like, now I got to talk to my parents and go, when I was growing up, like, I did have a difficult time learning, did I? Because, I mean, I was able to most people can't read stuff backwards, reversed, upside down, all that other craziness. So I just kind of paused when I was able to read those. But no, I think it went off pretty good. This collaboration, we got a new WWE Raw theme song. WWE partnered up with Eminem. Eminem's Godzilla song. I'm going, okay, that's what's up. Okay, I like that. Eminem, if you would have told me back in 1999 to '03, hey Lee, WWE is going to be changing their theme song one of these days and it's going to feature a theme song by Eminem, I would go, that's bullshit. Like, don't mess with me. Like legit, but how the times have changed, especially when it comes to pop culture and all of those things. CM Punk defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Bron Breakker. Let me tell you something, man. Bron Breakker, I have sung this man's praises ever since I first laid eyes on him on NXT. And longtime listeners, I am mighty high on Bron Breakker. I have said on this show year after year, future of the business, future household name, future multi-time world heavyweight champion. Sky is the limit for this young man. And one of the main things I would say in regards to Breakker, as long as he stays around the right circle of people, is not influenced in a negative way, right down to the point he becomes very full of himself, right along the lines of Bill Goldberg. We saw how all that had kind of turned out for Goldberg. Breakker will be all right. Here on this night, despite the fact that there was a couple of spots in this match with Punk where Braun, I think he was just so excited. He was just so full of that there was a couple of slip-ups in the ring. Yet, despite with the biggest one being when he tried going for the Frankensteiner on CM Punk in the corner while Punk was sitting on the top rope, the very first rodeo, and just the timing, just everything was just off. And I so appreciate the fine little attention to detail that Punk had gave and not selling the hell out of that move, because we've seen in WWE and other promotions when a move like that is done and the opponent that's doing the move misses the mark big time, we've seen that other wrestler just go, whoa, you got me, whoa. And kudos to CM Punk. He no-sold the hell out of that. And instead, I don't know if it was a case where before the match began, likely this is what happened. Punk basically said to Breakker, just listen to me. I got us. We gonna go through this like it ain't nothing, but I got you. Just listen to me out there. I mean, it had to been, because you could not have timed it so perfectly after Breakker missed that Frankensteiner and Punk is just kind of, I don't want to say he was lost in the weeds, but you can kind of tell Punk was maybe looking for some type of audible or something, but he eventually does an elbow drop to Breakker. It was just smooth how it all had played out. But despite those little hiccups I saw from Breakker tonight, Breakker had one of his best single match performances to date. Right up there with a couple of other matches that really come to mind. But this one against Punk, for me, is way, way at the top, if not at the top. On this night going forward, I just can't help but go, as far as I'm concerned, this man is no longer Bron Breakker. This man is now Braun Steiner. Just call him a Steiner already. He's fucking earned it. Like, seriously. Quite impressed with the young man. And I just, 2026, when I think about it, it should definitely be a big breakout year as far as World Heavyweight Championship material, as far as World Championships goes. Bron Breakker should definitely I'd be shocked if by the time we get to December 31st, 2026, and Bron Breakker has not tasted a World Heavyweight Championship at least one time. Yeah, your man right here is definitely going to be very surprised, wondering what's going on. Because unless it's due to injury or some type of a wellness policy violation, I'm going to be quite baffled at that. I love the fact that whoever was in charge of laying out this match, they really took the time to let this match truly breathe. It got plenty of time. I mean, my God, this match must have ran about, I would say this match kind of felt like it ran at least about 23, maybe 24 minutes almost. And that's despite the fact we had got a number of commercial breaks squeezed in there and all that. Speaking about commercial breaks, I don't think I really have too much more I want to add to the Bron Breakker CM Punk match. We'll just see whatever comes to mind as we're talking about other stuff from Raw tonight. But speaking of commercial breaks, sadly for us over here in the United States, we did not get a chance to see this play out on Raw programming. Luckily, if we were browsing on social media, then we would have found out about this. But Javon Evans has officially signed to the Raw brand. And as you guys know, this was a move I really was hoping would not happen. I really was hoping that Javon would sign to the Blue brand. As far as I'm concerned, SmackDown needs all the help that it can get, especially now that it is going in a 3-hour direction, which went into effect as of this past weekend and everything. Which, by the way, for a 3-hour SmackDown, first one out of the gate, that show was just stacked with great cameos. I actually did end up watching SmackDown in real time, so I saw everybody that appeared from the Jordan Grace, Matt Cardona, now being dubbed Matt Cardona, not Zack Ryder. Matt Cardona, he had a pretty much a squash match against Kit Williams there from Lethal Deadly. Who else? There was somebody else. Trick Williams, I think, made another cameo appearance there. But yeah, I mean, it was loaded up how they had did that and everything. But Javon Evans, who we know he's been going back and forth between the shows, officially signed to Monday Night Raw. And for our international audience, they were able to see this exclusive as Adam Pearce introduced Javon to the Raw crowd here in Brooklyn, Barclays Center. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do on the red brand. I hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. See, I just feel more confident if you say to me, oh, no, this will be on the blue brand. It's like, okay, well, we got some time to kill, so that actually works out. But with what's already a bit of a tight ship as it is on Monday nights, 2.5 hours, give or take. We'll see. We'll see. I tell you this, if they do it in a way where Javon Evans is getting a little bit of a rub off from an established wrestler, like maybe an AJ Styles or something of that magnitude, I actually would be down with that. But you got to make sure that you're doing the young man solid out the gate and everything. Just kind of going back, thinking a little bit more about the CM Punk Bron Breakker match and everything. Another thing I wasn't really a fan of was the Benny Hill run-ins, right? If you ever watch the comedy British show Benny Hill, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But the fact that we had multiple appearances in the form of shenanigans, right? I mean, yeah, you kind of felt that this was going to happen, but I just felt it really wasn't needed. That's just me personally. Of course, I'm talking about when Logan Paul, Big Bronson Reed came on out there, Austin Theory. They all pretty much got negated by Dragon Lee, Penta, Rey Mysterio. So all of that just pretty much had offset. And I love the fact that as a result of that offset, it let Braun and Punk continue to go at it one-on-one. So many near fall finishes too and everything. But then even at that, if you were kind of hoping that maybe CM Punk would make some type of an appearance, Chris Jericho, if you were hoping that Chris Jericho would make some type of an appearance here in this Punk versus Breakker match, there definitely was an opportunity for it, but it did not play out and everything. WWE also did a really good job in really establishing Bron Breakker, not just as a main eventer, a future main eventer and all that, but they also established, this dude is our beast. He is, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I know everybody's going, Obafemi, the next Bron Breakker and all of that, but Bron Breakker's in that same category as well when it's all said and done. Just barely almost pulling the upset there on CM Punk. Good shit. I love this overall. This was good stuff. Kind of an abrupt ending to the show too, because Punk basically is celebrating. He kind of drops the title, picks it up, and I mean, that's just pretty much it. They just closed out real quick. I don't understand what the rush was with all of that, but it is what it is with that one. So CM Punk retains his championship, and look, it might have been a dead giveaway for some of you guys if you were really paying attention to the broadcast, because I know coming up in February, WWE is going to be having at the United Center in Chicago Elimination Chamber. So you're kind of looking at that and you're going, and this was advertised right before the main event. You're going, safe to say Punk retains? Yeah, safe to say Punk retains. But Good effort from everybody. Now, we did see some title changes on tonight's show. Let's talk about some of those title changes. First off, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky defeating the Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Sane and Asuka to regain the women's tag title. So if you're keeping track at home, this is now Rhea Ripley's second time being a women's tag team champion. Right call, honestly. I just felt that given where everything is right now with the women's division, especially looking at things from the tag division standpoint, I just felt this was the right call because for starters, I felt that as long as Rhea and Io have been shadowing the Kabuki Warriors, it just felt the story arc like, no, they have to get the tag titles back. They got to get that big win sooner or later. Like it's got to happen. Otherwise, this is I like if they did not win, would they have been all right? Because yes, because for God's sake, it's Rhea Ripley and it's Io Sky. They would have been all right. Lord knows, Rhea particularly, championship or no championship, the fans, they just love them, some Rhea Ripley and everything. But it's just a happy stance that Rhea and Io, they click so well as a tag team and everything. And you want to continue to cash in on that. For me, Sky, she just continues to quietly establish herself as one of the top faces in the division right now. And you just square that up with Rhea Ripley. I mean, you really can do no wrong. Now, as far as how long do I think these girls are going to hold on to these tag titles? Do I feel that a mistake was made putting the tag titles on them again? No. And I feel that these girls are going to hold on to the titles just long enough until they drop them to Nia Jax and Lash Legend. I just really get the impression that eventually the rub off is going to come in that form where Lash and Jax get those tag titles because Lash is that, if you're watching SmackDown, then you know what I'm talking about. Over on SmackDown, Lash Legend, she is that little pet project right now. And isn't it interesting? And I'm going to put this out there and you all, I'm curious your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree, but it almost kind of feels like Lash Legend is the new pet project while Jade Cargill is kind of taking just a little slight backseat. Just a little slight backseat to Lash Legend a little bit. Some of you guys may feel different, but you can sound off. Let me know what you think about that. But nice tag match between all four girls and everything. But this was the right call as far as the title change and everything. So it was about a 16-minute match too for that one. Closing moments of that one. Kairi Sane connecting with an insane elbow for a near fall. See, and then afterwards, Sky ended up kicking Asuka into the Riptide. That was set up there by Rhea Ripley. Sky setting up the moonsault for the pin, capturing the tag titles. About 17 minutes and some change there. Meanwhile, we're talking about championships and all that. We did have another title change. It came in the form of Maxxine Dupri losing the Women's Intercontinental Championship there to Becky Lynch. This was about a 9-minute match, give or take. It's kind of interesting. I'm a little conflicted about this matchup because on the one hand, I can look at this matchup and I can go, well, it was just a matter of time before Maxxine Dupri lost the championship. Was I picturing an instant where Maxxine was going to be holding on to the championship for, say, 6 months? No. but I was expecting that she would hold on to this championship at least through Elimination Chamber. Now, whether or not she drops to that Elimination Chamber or she loses the championship right before the Elimination Chamber, I just know by the time she got to Elimination Chamber, for sure, new champion was going to be crowned. I find it interesting that they just went on ahead here and they put the championship back on Becky Lynch. It just really makes one wonder, well, wait a minute. All this stuff that they were doing with Natalia and the one up here on Becky Lynch, and like how does this even make sense? Like what the hell? It is weird storytelling, is it not? Because understand the storytelling from this standpoint. Let's make no mistake about it. When Maxxine Dupri won that championship off of Becky Lynch, there was a little bit of help per se that came in the form of AJ Lee. And ever since then, Becky Lynch has been on this hell-bent streak that, yo, that was rubbish. That was some BS. I'm the greatest wrestler alive, according to Sports Illustrated, yada, yada, yada. By the way, I love when throughout the night they were doing these cool little chapter 1, 2, 3 for some of the matches that was playing out. I love how they were. It was a Stranger Things kind of vibe that they were doing with some of the title cards and setting up the matches. It was a nice touch. If you hop on social media, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about and everything. But you have Maxxine Dupri do this intense training with Natalia, which, by the way, let's address that elephant in the room. Where the hell is Natalia? Is she doing her book tour? Is she kicking back with TJ? Is she training some new folks at the dungeon? What? I mean, we see the little vignettes of her training Maxxine Dupri. Not once had we seen her with Maxxine as she's doing these title defenses. She's just gone. So now what are we going to do with Maxxine Dupri? Are we going to essentially see her go back to the dungeon? And Natalia says to her, you thought you learned everything, huh? You thought you were good to go. Obviously, I tried to tell you, too, that you had a long way to go, but you just had to put the I'm trying to think of the terminology, but it's not coming to me right now. It is 11 something at night right now that we're recording this, so I am kind of getting a little foggy right now, but putting the horse before the cart there, right? I think that's the saying that I kind of want, maybe. But what do you do there? It just made Maxxine Dupri lesser than. It just ultimately made her come off like a joke, and that ultimately she couldn't hang in there with the bigger names. I would have loved it if it would have been a case where not once, not twice, but 3 times. 3 times is the charm. I would have loved it if they essentially would have went Triple H against Shelton Benjamin from back in the day, and they would have had set it up so that Maxxine Dupri would have had Becky Lynch's number all 3 times. Now, granted, the way that this match ended was through controversy. You pretty much had Dupri roll into another attempt at her ankle lock. And when she did it that time, I think it was her second or third attempt that she tried doing it, Lynch ended up stacking her up and with her right hand was grabbing onto the ropes while the referee obviously didn't see what was going on with Becky's side, was pretty much counting it down, and Becky was able to win the championship that way and everything. This was, yeesh. I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about this. I really, really don't. I personally feel that Maxxine Dupri should have retained this championship, but it just was not meant to be. Well, at least, wait a minute. Let me think about this for a second. Because the way this was set up with how Becky Lynch had grabbed onto the rope, I'm just trying to paint the match back in my head. Did Maxxine Dupri actually? The I had her retaining the championship at first glance, but the more and more I scrutinized looking at that match, 'cause I was watching it and I was just trying to think to myself, was there any controversy? Like, could you maybe say that? No, no, no. Sorry, Maxine Dupri fans. No, no. Becky Lynch won the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Look, I think honestly, it comes off like a cheap move to basically let there be a carrot dangling over the fans' heads for when AJ does return and she resumes her feud against Becky Lynch, that the two of them pretty much pick up where they left off. Me personally, you really don't need a championship involved. Just what Becky and AJ has been doing thus far. You don't need a championship to be involved. Just let those two girls, their names sell itself. It sells a feud. It sells a match itself. Just let them go out there and have at it. So really, really sucks. It is what it is. Also, we got a long preview for Unreal Season 2. Looks pretty promising. I think it's only going to consist of like 3, 4, 5 episodes. So I'll definitely be checking it out. I didn't watch the first season. So I think what I will end up, most likely scenario, I will end up watching the first season while binging on season 2 all in one sitting so that I can really go ahead and talk about it. Elsewhere, Stephanie Vaquer coming out with her pretty little gray skirt on, boot on her left leg. I'm looking at that boot on the left leg. I'm just going, target, easy target. Who's going to attack her? No way she's coming out here and going to be able to get through a talking segment and nobody jumps her and comes after that boot on her leg. Boy, it's nice to be right. I don't know, by the way, what Jackie Redmond was wearing. You can tell me that's the new style. But so for those of you that didn't watch yet, or maybe don't plan on watching Raw, Jackie Redmond, she's in the middle of the ring interviewing Stephanie Vaquer. And Jackie has on this really nice long sleeve, white collared, buttoned up shirt. Over this buttoned up shirt, she has this charcoal kind of plattered looking top that's over it, and it's got strings, almost like it's a bra strap kind of. And as Jackie Redmond is interviewing Stephanie, you just can't help but, whether you're a man or a woman, you just can't help but go, hey, pull the strap up. Like, get that you have your white collared shirt on, but the little gray, just pull it up already. It's like, it's not there, just pull it up. That's the new fashion, though, apparently. Whatever, man, whatever. But Stephanie coming out there with a boot and everything, telling the crowd how happy she is with everything that she was able to accomplish in 2025. Talked about how it was her biggest dream come true, winning the women's championship that's over her shoulder. Talks about how she wants to face everyone because she's the best in the world. Bam! Big sexy Raquel Rodriguez jumping her from behind, doing some big grown folk shit on that ass, setting up Stephanie with a Tahana bomb. Loved it. Loved it. I loved how that segment played out. That was some really good stuff. Really good shit. She's really been leaning much harder into that big man mentality that Raquel Rodriguez is paying off to. Love seeing the brutality that played out backstage shortly after a little pause. We saw Stephanie Vaquer being helped by a couple of officials. Raquel pretty much doing her Braun Strowman, I'm not done with you yet. Beating the holy hell out of her even more as more officials had to come in and break them all up. Good stuff. Good stuff. So obviously Raquel Rodriguez still gunning after the women's champion, the women's championship. Kind of feeling a little bit slighted right there. Interesting how they had this segment set up too, because when you look at what Raquel Rodriguez did, and then how they immediately went into Lyra Valkyria going one on one with Liv Morgan. Very interesting that they didn't have Liv and Raquel somehow cross paths, at least do a little fist bump thing. I see you, girl, because we know Liv Morgan, she's got her own motives. Okay. I just thought it was interesting that of all the weeks that we normally do a backstage little skit involving Judgment Day, we didn't get one of those this week. Maybe they couldn't quite figure out what they wanted to do with a Judgment Day segment. Your guess is as good as mine, but even more interesting that they did not have Liv and Raquel somehow cross paths even later on backstage during the night. To my knowledge, at least, they didn't have them do anything. Now, if they did something for our international audience and they were able to view it, let me and the American UK audience know, but we didn't get no love. Lyra taking on Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan picking up a victory. This was Liv Morgan's first match since like June of 2025 or something like that. So, hey, always good when we got Liv Morgan back on our TVs. Even more awesome when we have Liv Morgan back in the ring doing what she does best. Honestly, she came off like she did not miss a step. She did not miss a beat at all. Has some shenanigans in there as Roxanne Perez tried to interfere. Bailey was kind of able to negate that a little bit. You know, safe to say that we're going to see a tag team with all these individuals, right? Probably as early as next Monday's Raw and everything. But I'm definitely down with that. Other than that, good effort. Good effort by both girls. You know, we were talking about Raw next week too. Programming note. I want to mention this right now. I'll mention it again as we get ready to close out the show later. But friendly reminder, Raw next Monday, which is, look at the calendar here. I think that's going to be the 12th. Yes, January 12th. It's going to be coming on at 2 p.m. Eastern here in the United States on the East Coast. Apparently, it's going to be coming to us live from Germany. So as far as how things are going to be going down with our post show for next Monday, we'll just come on at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's how we're going to do it. So mark that down. I'll remind you guys again later on during the night. Gunther, meanwhile, making a appearance, having another trash talking segment, basking still in the fact that he made John Cena tap out like a little bitch. AJ Styles takes no more. He comes on out there having a few choice words to say with Gunther. Pretty much cold bitch slapped him. I mean, this was pretty much a when keeping it real goes wrong segment. AJ wanted to know what Gunther was going to do. Gunther did not do a damn thing. Shortly afterwards, Gunther was looking for Adam Pearce, basically doing his best he hit me impression. AJ Styles popping right back up. Yeah. I see you. I hear you talking trash. Yeah, what are you going to say to Pearce? Go ahead, I'm right here. What are you going to say to Pearce? And Gunther just basically goes, I want AJ next week. Pearce makes it official. So next Monday on Raw is going to be Gunther versus AJ Styles. So should be a damn good matchup that we're going to be able to see. Usos were in the house as well, celebrating over the fact that they got the tag titles back. They were celebrating with the crowd. Wasn't really much substance of a promo, but I will tell you this, you know, we've been so focused as a community on Jey Uso that in the background, we quietly forgot about Jimmy Uso, Big Jim. Jim took a serious backseat, did he not? With everything that was going on with Jay, he was just a afterthought, sadly. And I'm really happy for Jim. I gotta say, because not only is it giving Jim something to do, but let's be honest, just as much as Jay has been putting in the work, Jim had been putting in the work as well, quietly. But because Jay is the one that's got the catchphrase, he's got the dance, he's got the glasses, and all that other stuff. He was the one that was catching the ride, the lightning and the bottle ride. If you're like me and you're a Usos fan, you can't help but just say, yeah, that's cool that Jim is getting a little bit of a rub off there from Jay and everything. But as I had said last week, all said and done, WWE is taking the scenic route. Make no mistake about it. Jay will be turning on his brother Jimmy in 2026. Make no mistake about it. It will be happening. They are just fine tuning this. And I'm telling you, and I said this some months ago, the way they're going to do this is going to be right up at the point where Jay, I think it's going to go down right at the point where Naomi is almost due. And that's when Jay is going to turn on Jimmy. And then Jimmy will be out for a couple of months. And then Jimmy will come back trying to extract revenge there and all of that. Now, that's the first equation, right? Now, how about the second equation? So who ultimately is going to get the tag titles off of the Usos? Just kind of looking at everything that's going on with the tag division. I'm not ready to comment just yet. I need to see at least a couple of more weeks go by just to kind of see where everybody's going to be landing, since NXT is going to really be involved here with the brands shakeups and all that. I want to see where everybody lands first before commenting. I just gave you guys my thoughts on what ultimately is going to happen with the women's tag division, right? I just gave you guys a little taste right there. The men's, that's kind of to be determined for right now. Just trying to think if there's anything else that had happened with Raw tonight. I kind of feel like maybe I'm missing a match. I'm just going over my notes one more time. I kind of feel like I'm missing something, but I don't think I am, guys. I think we actually ended up covering all the matches that was on for tonight. Yeah. I covered all the matches. My God. Yeah, covered all the matches. Main event alone was really worth the admission. Strong enough for sure to carry the show. The opener wasn't that bad either, considering, wow, we got new tag team champions. Well, if this could happen, look at what they're doing here and setting the pace for the show throughout the rest of the night. Hey, anything could probably happen leading up to the main event match and everything. They also did a really good job in establishing as far as the future holds. AJ Styles, as we know, he's going into his final year with WWE and everything. Setting him up with Gunther. I'm not going to say it felt like a huge show, despite the fact that we had championships, because technically, if you want to be honest, this was a championship edition of Monday Night Raw, where championships were being defended. So that was a really good, nice change of pace, especially for the 1 year anniversary show and everything. I wish from a production standpoint, though, that with all the footage that WWE has, I wish that there would have been some type of a montage of, hey, this is our 1 year anniversary, WWE Raw on Netflix. What a roller coaster of a year it was for WWE on Netflix. All throughout the night, we're just going to be going over some of those moments with you, some of those WTF moments. I think that really would have been truly badass, especially if one of those highlight packages would have been Penta debuting on Raw on Netflix. I mean, they missed a really good opportunity to go in on that. You also could have went in on Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman turning on Seth Rollins. You know, they missed an opportunity to bring that to the forefront. Once again, they missed an opportunity to emphasize Austin Theory, right? Because that did close out 2025. Austin Theory being revealed as the mystery man and all that. They missed a golden opportunity to, touch upon that for a little bit. They also missed an opportunity to talk about the highs and lows that Jey Uso had went through in 2025, but closed it out in becoming a World Tag Team Champion. Becky Lynch, Gunther. They missed so many good opportunities to cover key stars, key moments in the first year of Raw on Netflix, while also emphasizing the future at the same time. They spent more time focusing on just the matches and their Stranger Things collaboration and making sure they please their Netflix partners and their Stranger Things collaboration, then, hey, 1 year anniversary of Raw on Netflix, this great partnership. That the build to the Royal Rumble was almost secondary when you really stop and think about it. And you would like to believe that the build to the Royal Rumble and Riyadh, it will officially begin next week, because let's not forget that's going to be going down. I'm trying to think. If I'm not mistaken, Royal Rumble should be happening on Saturday, January 31st. I'm looking at my calendar right now for because I'm always making little notations of PLEs so I can give the family a heads up in case they're trying to do something with me. Yeah, January 31st, Riyadh at the Kingdom Arena is going to be the Royal Rumble. So, you've essentially got, today is January 5th, 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. You got 3 weeks and about 6 days until the Royal Rumble. So it is safe to say they're going to start promoting it. But like, they just missed out on a lot that they could have done with this 1 year anniversary. Like, put it to you this way, if you would have tuned in tonight, like, unless myself and other people were like, hey, 1 year anniversary, like, you just wouldn't have known. All you just would have known was, oh, Stranger Things collaboration. Okay, cool. That's it. I mean, that's it. Let's see how you guys have voted for this edition of Monday Night Raw. Let's go over to Twitter/X at the RCWR show. See how you guys have voted over there. Oh my God, Lord have mercy. Let's see here. Jesus Christ. So we with me see let's see here. You ever feel like weird when you keep coming across some of these weird accounts on Twitter? So right now I've got this one account. It looks like it's a porn account. I don't know how many accounts this person has made, this model has made, but I guess she feels like she's left out in the code because every time I turn around, like she's like going out of her way to like certain posts that I have made towards some of my favorite female wrestlers. And here's the thing, it's nothing scandalous or anything like that. I'm just like maybe complimenting them on a photo spread they did. I'm like saying, oh, that's really cool, or some shit like that. And I guess this person is maybe kind of jealous or whatever, but I must have blocked. This is now account number 6 that I've blocked of this porn model. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, very weird. Some people just can't take a hint, sadly. Here we go. Twitter poll. Again, kept it simple for you guys. 17% of you are staying in the middle with tonight's Raw. 35% of you are giving it a thumbs down. 47% of you, top dog right now, are giving the show a thumbs up. Appreciate you guys that have casted your votes. Much love. And while we're speaking of polls, too, by the way, want to give you guys a friendly reminder that the Lee Sanders Presents the 2025 Wrestling Awards is now live right now. So if you're checking this episode out via YouTube, or if you're checking it out via Facebook, I made sure that in the episode description, you guys are able to click on the link. It's Typeform link. It'll take you right over there. Now, I want to let you guys know off the break, in full disclosure, it's going to take you about maybe 15 to 20 minutes to fill it out. It could be much sooner than that. It really depends on how well you know your wrestling, everything that went down in 2025, how much you were paying attention. I shouldn't have to say this, and I don't want to single individuals out because I don't want people to feel like, oh man, we're being targeted, and then ultimately have their feelings be hurt. But I can't stress this enough. You want to fill out this joint when you have a free moment. So like maybe you're at your lunch break and you're like, oh, I got 30 minutes or I got an hour to kill. So I'll just yum, eat my food and I'll scroll for some wrestling news. Like, okay, you got some time to kill? Great way to do it. If you're in a position where maybe, I don't know, you're using the bathroom, you're sitting on the toilet for a good minute. I mean, okay, do it then. Maybe your commute, right? Do it then. But it's going to take you at least roughly 15 to 20 minutes to do it. If not, you'll be like done sooner than that. One thing I want to stress is if you end up doing a little something and then abandoning it, like you just drop out, you just say, I'm good. Sadly, you're wasting your time. That's the most valuable commodity, right? You're wasting your time. See, it'll be easy for me because I manually will be able to see who is saying what, where did that person stop? I'll be able to see all of that. So if I see that you did not take the time out to answer every single question, even if you were to say, I'm not sure, that's actually answering the question. You're getting full credit. But if you just come in and you just go, JCW is my favorite promotion, Haley is my favorite wrestler, and then like you don't vote for anything else, I can't count that as a vote. I just can't. Other people may be able to do that, but like that just wouldn't be fair to those that did take the time out to actually fill out the survey. So again, when you get 15 to 20 minutes, fill out the survey, and it's going to be fun. I want to go over some of the folks that had won from the previous year. So we got to rewind it back to the 2024 Wrestling Awards, where when I tell you guys, it's open ended, like anything goes. Okay. And you find this out as soon as you land on the Wrestling Awards show page. I tell you off the break, I say, hello, fans. Welcome to the 2025 Lee Sanders Presents the Wrestling Awards. This is an open-ended ballot. No multiple choice. No forced answers. Take your time and answer every category honestly. This ballot takes approximately 15-20 minutes to complete. Incomplete submissions will not be counted. We'll reveal the winners live Monday, February 9th, 2026 at 10:45 p.m. youtube.com/the RCWR show. So check this out. Going back to 2024, the male wrestler of the year, Gunther, won by just one extra vote. one extra vote. This was just sporadic. It was all over the place. Gage Flair was another one that was nominated. Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay. Gunther, though, he won it just by one extra vote. I mean, we had a lot of people for the 2024 Wrestling Awards too. This was pretty solid. Female Wrestler of the Year, uh, Rhea Ripley won that one. She won that by one vote. It was pretty close. It was almost going to be a tie between her and Roxanne Perez. For Feud of the Year, that ended up being CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, rightfully so. The Male Dark Horse of the Year, all over the place. That was all over the place. There was no definitive winners. Just some of the names: Mike Santana, Karrion Kross, Sheamus, Obafemi, Dominic Mysterio. Female Dark Horse of the Year, that's another one that was all over the place. Zoe Stark, Naomi, Jada Parker, Roxanne Perez, even Jordan Grace got a nod. Male, The Future is Bright Award. Austin Theory won by one vote. Other names mentioned: Obafemi, Mike Santana. Female, The Future is Bright Award. All over the place on that one yet again. Lash Legend was nominated. Cora Jade, Sky Blue, Roxanne Perez, Lyra Valkyria. Best Promotion of the Year, WWE won that one hands down. Worst Promotion of the Year, again, this is for 2024. Worst Promotion of the Year, AEW won that one. Best Promoter of the Year, Triple H won that one in a landslide. I mean, just forget about it. Worst Promoter of the Year, Tony Khan took that category. Best Pay-Per-View / PLE of the Year, WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania 40. It's a tie. WrestleMania 40 just as a whole event, but then also WrestleMania 40 Night 2. So, little two-way tie there. Worst pay-per-view PLE of the year, Hell in a Cell, all over the place. It's just sporadic, all over the place. Hell in a Cell, Clash of the Castle, or Clash at the Castle, Survivor Series, Money in the Bank, and MLW Slaughterhouse. Yo, your social game on point, all over the place, but Drew McIntyre won by one vote. Hey man, just get off social media already. That award went to Tony Khan. He was putting some silly shit out there in 2024. Best Wrestling News Reporter. All over the place on this one. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics got a nod. Renee Paquette got a nod as well. Muscle Man Malcolm got a nod as well. Worst Wrestling News Reporter, Dave Meltzer won unanimously. Dave Meltzer won unanimously. Best Wrestling News Site, all over the place. SES Scoops, WrestleFeed, 401 Mania. Worst Wrestling News Site, Wrestling Observer won by one vote. Most Improved Male Wrestler of the Year, all over the place. Sheamus got a nod. Swerve Strickland got a nod. Gunther got a nod. Ludwig Kaiser got a nod. For Most Improved Female Wrestler of the Year, all over the place. Jordan Grace, Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Bailey. Most Improved Promotion of the Year. This is again for 2024. MLW picked up the win on that one. TNA did get a nod. They did get a vote, but MLW, according to you all. Can we talk about this promotion more award? MLW won in that category. Sign this talent already. Y'all are all over the place on this one. Zilla Fatu, Mike Santana, Joe Hendry, Evil. Well, that's going to leave a Black Eye Award all over the place. But the winner, by one vote, Hulk Hogan. The What the Fuck Moment Award. Hogan won this one. More specifically, this is Hogan getting booed on what would be his final time in WWE on that infamous episode of WWE Raw. Best non-wrestling personality, all over the place on this one. Joe Tessitore, Jason Solomon. Shout out to my brother, Jason Solomon. Worst non-wrestling personality. Y'all are all over the place on this one. Logan Paul, Jesse Ventura, Dave Meltzer, Booker of, and you know what? I'm going to mention this one. Not to cause controversy. I'm not mentioning this to cause any controversy whatsoever. Hang on a second here, guys. I thought it zoomed in. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to mention this one not to cause any type of controversy. Because again, this was in 2024, and as we all know, we lost this brother in 2025. I would like to believe that if this person has a heart, like they probably would go, man, if I knew what I knew now, like I definitely wouldn't have voted. But somebody actually voted for the late Kevin Castle. Again, this was in 2024, and Kevin Castle passed away sadly in 2025. Obviously, Kevin Castle, you know, he will strike a nerve. He will strike a nerve in some people. So there are some takes that some people just did not like of Kev. But I tell you what, when Kev was so passionate about something, you could not get him to waver otherwise. Very, very rare would he have a change in heart. He would stick to that opinion no matter what. And eventually a lot of people, it took him a while, but eventually a lot of people saw what he was talking about. Sometimes just the way his wrestling mind would work, he could see shit months, a couple of years away before everybody else was seeing it. And then when they finally would arrive to the conclusion that he was already at, you think they would give him his flowers? Nope. Booker of the Year. Looks like interesting. This Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels had one in that one. Best Weekly Show. Monday Night Raw picked up the award for that one. That was the 2024 Wrestling Awards, by the way. Now, for 2025, we have brought back some of the same categories, but we've also brought in some new ones as well. So this is going to be pretty good. I think you guys are definitely gonna love this. And for those of you that's going to be voting for the very first time with our awards, I want to say welcome. We have been doing some variation of this off and on for the past couple of years now. So it did go under some other names as well. I can't remember the names right now. All right, so we've got, again, this is for your 2025 Wrestling Awards. Here's your categories. So we've got the Male Wrestler of the Year, And our description for that one, through and through, the many ups and downs during the year did not shake your love, appreciation, and support for this wrestler. They continue giving you their best memorable promos, matches, and segments. No one can hold a candle to them as they in a league of their own. We got the female wrestler of the year. Who's that lady? Lovely lady, talented lady, looks, check, skills, check, works the mic so good, MC Light approves. This woman at times turned chicken shit into chicken salad and stood out in a league of her own. Ain't no woman like this one. She's a bad mama. Feud of the year, whether it was a female feud of the year or a male feud of the year, their feud had you glued to your TV sets, coming back for more each week. They were the main reason you tuned in because you wanted to see how they'd keep one-upping each other. And just when you thought after their match it would be all over, they kept on feuding, but it was so damn good. Male Dark Horse Star of the Year. The major stars always get talked about, but this guy quietly puts in the work week in and week out. It's gotten to a point where no matter how good or bad the show is overall, you know when they in action, they're going to deliver a solid performance. Why is everyone else sleeping on this person? Do they not see their excellence? And then we've got the female Dark Horse Star of the Year. Get the gist from that one. Male, the future is bright award. This male wrestler is young in their career. They haven't even begun to scratch the surface, but man, oh man, the future looks very promising for this individual that in 5 years' time or less, they should be an impact player. Female, the future is bright award. Same gist. Best promotion of the year. You've watched them all during the year, but this promotion stood out to you as being the absolute best. They truly are number one in your book. Worst promotion of the year. These guys just couldn't catch a break from poor booking, storylines, drama on top of drama, contract mishaps. This company seems to not be doing it right in your eyes. You're embarrassed to mention them among friends. Keep rocking and rolling here. Best promoter of the year. This promoter does everything right. Pre and post show conferences, meet and greets, interviews, fan interactions, all in the name of promoting their company. Worst promoter of the year. Pretty much opposite. You get the gist of that. Best pay-per-view / PLE of the year. You've watched them all, and this event stands out to you the most, as from top to bottom, it was the best card, bar none. Worst pay-per-view PLE of the year. You've seen them all. By God, this event was a real stinker. Yo, your social game on point. Every time you're on social media, this person always posts good stuff and has solid interactions with their fan base. You've been lucky enough to interact with them. You know when you hop online, they social posts gonna make you smile. I know you guys have quite a few people that you all appreciate there. So, hey, yo, just get off social media already. Every time this person posts on social media, you cringe. They make you and everyone else in the IWC make potty faces. Yeah, the IWC would be better if they left social media and never returned. You get that award. That's not good. That's not something to be bragging about. Best wrestling news reporter. You appreciate and respect their work. Always polite, clear, concise, and honest in their reporting. They deserve a raise, or better yet, an award. Let's give them one here. Worst wrestling news reporter. Dude, every time you turn around, this cat always messing up stuff. If they aren't doing that, they spreading clickbait, lies, gossip. Ouchie. It's a headache with this person. Best wrestling news site. This site is on point every single time, whether you're checking out their locked content for paying customers or it's free. Their reporting is solid, smooth site navigating, and it's very rare they mess up in their reporting. If they do mess up, you've seen them retract, follow up, hell, even issue an apology. Worst wrestling news site. Get the gist of that one. Most improved male wrestler of the year. Talk about a comeback. This dude in the previous year just sucked. Somehow 2025 saw them rebound in such a big way from promos and matches. They've improved drastically. Most improved female wrestler of the year. Same gist. Most improved promotion of the year. Just think, a year ago it was embarrassing to mention this promotion. Now look at them. They no longer should be looked at as a joke, as they making moves. I'm letting you guys know right now, I would not be that surprised if JCW actually ended up picking up a couple of awards. And a quick sidebar, I wasn't going to talk about JCW until later on in the show, but I find it interesting what's going on right now that Matt Cardona has signed with WWE. In case you guys are not aware, it was all revealed on SmackDown. When SmackDown did the first 3-hour show and Cardona had his match against Kit Williams, it was revealed that Matt Cardona is now exclusive to the SmackDown brand. He basically is going to be featured there weekly. And if you have not been watching JCW, you know, Vince Russo's doing his thing over there now. They just crowned Matt Cardona the JCW World Heavyweight Champion. And everybody's been going online, making fun at Russo, poking fun at him and everything. And Russo's been a total pro about all of this, saying, look, this type of stuff, you don't think it happens in the business all the time? Like, more than you can imagine. And he pretty much has said that he is very happy for Cardona. The fact that he pretty much gets to be reunited with his wife, Chelsea. Matter of fact, they just got married. So congratulations to Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green. They just tied the knot, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, now they really get to spend even more quality time together as a couple, as newlyweds and everything. And it's good for him. Look, Cardona went out there for almost 5 years, a little more than that maybe, and he was able to bank on himself, make a name for himself. He was able to reconstruct, rebrand himself, and you know he has paid greatly. He has paid greatly for it, and it's a great story. It is a great comeback story on, okay, well, when all else fails and no one else is banking on you, no one else is pretty much believing you, then at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do and go chase your own dream. You got to make your own moves. You got to make your own wave. Sometimes you just got to grab life by the horns. And that's exactly what Matt Cardona did. If you can't find extra motivation in that and apply that to your own life and whatever is going on, I don't know what the hell to tell you. But no, Russo's taking it on the chin. He's going, hey, anytime an opportunity presents itself and Chelsea or Cardona are able to maybe do something with them down the road, they would welcome it. But in the meantime, far as Russo is concerned, they will be crowning a new world heavyweight champion. And he said, check out Lunacy. You'll see how it all plays out. Sign this talent already. Male, female, non-binary, doesn't matter. You love watching this wrestler. And for far too long, they've gone unsigned by major promotions. Enough already. They need to be signed. We had some interesting names that we went through from 2024 several minutes ago, and it's kind of interesting how all of them pretty much landed where they landed in 2025. Well, that's going to leave a Black Eye Award. This award goes to the poor soul who's should have known better but fucked around and found out the wrong way. The community is still talking about it to this very day. If you win this award, that's not a good thing. Hope for better in 2026. The WTF Moment Award. You couldn't believe this happened in wrestling, be it in the ring or out. For you, this was a WTF shocking moment. Choose wisely. Best non wrestling personality. Choose wisely. Please, y'all, don't do that blah, 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 or for any of these categories. If you do blah, 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 or I only need one recorded response, not two options. You just one or the other. Otherwise, I can't count it. I can't count it. Worst non wrestling personality. And then we've got Booker of the Year. Everything they touch is golden, man. You could be technical, but honestly, they stay booking good shows from the undercard to the main event. They get your favorite wrestlers and always do them right with fun story arcs and then some. Got a couple of more of these. Best weekly show. It's cut and dry. Match of the year, hands down. You've seen your share in 2025 from the men, women, and members of the LGBTQ plus community. This match was by far the best you saw in 2025. Choose wisely. Here's a new category that we're adding for the very first time. Best wrestling book / film / docuseries of the year. Awarded to the wrestling book, film, or docuseries that best captured the sport's history, culture, or real life stories in 2025. Tag team of the year. Tag team match of the year. Faction of the year. And finally, Can't Catch a Break Award. Awarded to a wrestler whose year was derailed by repeated injuries, stalled momentum, or lack of meaningful use when healthy. Maybe they should get out of wrestling or try elsewhere. Very curious to see how you guys end up voting for that particular one. Those are all the categories for the 2025 Lee Sanders Wrestling Awards. And like I said, voting, it's live. It's going to remain live and open until Monday, February 9th, 10:35 p.m. Eastern, when I basically come on here live. After we get done talking about Raw Fallout, we're going to go right into the results for that show. So looking forward to it. Should be pretty good. Hey, appreciate the 55 plus strong that's tuning in live right now. Whether you're checking out the show live via YouTube, or you're tuning in via Facebook, maybe you're tuning in via YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, however you're tuning in live right now as you're watching this. Appreciate you guys as always. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the like, all that jazz. Show the YouTube channel some love as well. I'm going to definitely be putting up some more content up on the YouTube channel. Just been kind of getting through some of this quiet stuff going on, preparing for the upcoming semester and all that. I've been trying to figure out what other textbooks I need for my classes coming up, and some of my professors are just being procrastinators, man. They have not put the syllabus up yet. I mean, it's still early because, spring's not for me. It doesn't start until late January, but, I like getting the head start just so I can have my stuff already. Some people are like, no. Wait until week 1, then get your, no, because everybody and their mama is then going to be looking for the same thing that you're going to be looking for. How does that make sense? Doesn't make sense. Got a couple of AEW talents, some news, some AEW news I want to get through, and also a little bit of that's really it. It's been relatively quiet with the holidays and all that, which is good, which is actually a really good thing. Hey, some AEW talents are no longer with the company. Alex Abrahantes, remember he signed on with AEW back in 2019, and he shortly moved on and did some stuff for the Spanish commentary crew. Well, it looks like apparently his time with AEW is allegedly coming to the end as AEW is not looking to re-sign him. So looks like it's potentially going to be happy trails for him. Maybe he can land. Honestly, I think, and I'm not bullshitting. I'm also remembering the fact that he was part of the WWE creative crew many years ago. Honestly, with what everything that's going on with the AAA promotion right now, I think Alex, I think he'd be a good addition to AAA. I would not be surprised if he ends up landing there. So, assuming that nothing is materialized as far as successful renegotiations and Alex Abrahantes is shown the door, I don't think he's going to be idle on the sidelines that long. Elsewhere, Matt Taven allegedly is no longer going to be with AEW. Apparently, AEW is deciding they want to go in a different direction. Remember, he signed with the company back in 2022, and he paired up with Mike Bennett, captured the ROH Tag Team Championships from MJF. Remember that reign lasted a good minute. Like it was definitely over 200 days from what I recall. They ultimately had dropped the titles to Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. I remember I think we were still covering AEW Rampage over on the 401 Mania site back in the day. And when they had lost those tag titles and all that. But like following dropping those titles, Matt Taven pretty much was like exclusive over to the ROH brand as far as wrestling and all that. And then last year in 2025, as far as matches in the company, there was only a small handful of wrestling matches here and there. So Matt Taven was pretty much on the sidelines, not doing anything, barely being utilized. It was quite unfortunate. So, he's worked for CMLL, TNA, New Japan. Sky's the limit. I mean, this guy is pretty much going to be able to go wherever he wants to go if he wants to continue to pursue wrestling. I mean, he's going to be just fine. Now, one name that was definitely a bit surprising to me because it seemed as though maybe there was a little bit of potential that was going on with her and everything. And I have loved this woman through the years. It just frustrates me to hear this, but apparently Mercedes Martinez is no longer with AEW now. She has verbally confirmed on social media that she's no longer with AEW and everything. Remember, she joined the promotion back in 2021 when she was revealed to basically be like a bodyguard to some degree with Jade Cargill. And during her time with AEW slash ROH, she ultimately became an ROH women's champion, but she hasn't done anything for ROH slash AEW, not since 2024. I wish I was bullshitting you guys, but like when I was doing research, that's how far back it goes. Now, on January 1st, just a few days ago, Mercedes took to social media to let it be known that 2026 is going to be her last year as a full-time active wrestler. She said, and I'm quoting here, 2026, different mindset, different fire. This is my last year as a full-time active professional wrestler. No contracts, no agents, no creative, just me and everything I've earned over 25 damn years in this business. Wrestling gave me everything. It broke me, built me, tested me, somehow still made me fall in love with it again. 2025 wasn't about being showcased. It was about going back to the indies, back to the grind, back to the reason I started, and remembering exactly who the hell I am. Giving back, teaching, helping the next generation, passing on what was given to me the hard way. That part means everything. So 2026 gets one more year of my body, my heart, and my fight. One more year of scars, sweat, pain, and pride. One more year of showing up and giving everything I've got, because that's the only way I've ever done this. The last few years flew by. I don't know what's next. All I've ever known is wrestling, grinding, and hustling. And for one more year, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I trust the universe to meet me where I'm at. Oh, she said universe. I can just see people now. WWE bound. Dot, 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 dot. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Trust the universe to meet me where I'm at, like it always has. Goodbye, 2025. One last run. I got to be honest with you. When I think about the talented, the beautiful, the gifted Mercedes Martinez, I always go, now there's a woman that, for whatever respected reason, like you never heard her name involved in any kind of controversy whatsoever. You understand? Like you never heard anything negatively being said about her on social media. You just go, why hasn't this woman done something with WWE on a regular basis? Why hasn't she? Like, she has got to be one of those names that I look at and I go, man, if anybody, if not be on my TV every single week, then surely be a coach, be a trainer, and yet never materialize. This woman has been at it since the late 90s, like 1998, 1999. She's been involved in the business and, has aged like fine wine. I mean, at this point, she's now maybe 45 going on 46. And I mean, that's still pretty damn young. And I mean, for most of her respected career, she has, you know, rarely I can recall that she's been injured. So knocking on wood for her. I mean, and she's done some hardcore shit over the years, but she's knocking on wood. She's never been in a situation where she has been out for an extended period of time. You know, I was watching her back when she was doing stuff primarily for Shimmer and the Shine Wrestling promotions, which reminds me, she is actually going to be appearing at Shine 85. Yes, Shine is still doing events. She's going to be working their event on Sunday, January 11th. Bell time is at 5 p.m. Eastern, and you can still hop on the WWN live website and order it, check it out and everything. They're still doing their thing out in Florida and all that. She's going to be featured on there. When I was looking at the card, there was somebody else who I said, oh, wow, she's going to be on there as well. Oh, okay, cool. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead. I can hop on my Twitter real quick and look at the poster. Because when I was looking at the poster, I said, oh, wow, like, that's cool. This person's going to be, oh, yeah, that person. Evil Les. Hang on here. I just saw her, Evil Lee's. Yeah, Evil Lee's is going to be there. So that's awesome. I'm still looking at the poster here, trying to see if there's anybody else that I recognize from the card here. It looks like the Shine Women's Champion could possibly be my girl from the Wild Women's Wrestling promotion, Princess Aussie. Kind of looks like her. If that's not her, I don't know who that is. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I love me. You guys know me. I'm always a big fan of women's wrestling and all that. I always try to do my best to support women's wrestling when I can and all that. But no, I mean, this woman, Mercedes Martinez, from Shine, Shimmer, Old School ROH, World Extreme Wrestling. I mean, she's worked for so many promotions that would just kind of blow your head. You'd be like, chick fight. Like, I mean, she's done like so many weird, crazy things, but she's always been a journeyman. WSU. She stayed mainly doing stuff for WSU. Of course, I was over the moon and back and giddy when she ended up popping up in WWE for the Mae Young Classic tournament, and she defeated Xia Li in the first round. Just kind of funny when I think about Xia Li and what's become of her ultimately and everything. Because remember, she is now Xia Li. She is now back on the Independence and all that, messing around with TNA wrestling and everything. So she's done a nice, good job rebranding and everything. But Martinez defeated Xia Li in the first round of the Mae Young tournament. What was that, like 2017, basically? And then shortly after that, I think there was like a semifinals joint. Um, Mercedes got eliminated by Shayna Baszler, and that was a damn good matchup. That was a damn good matchup. I tell you what, I would love to see Shayna and Martinez. Like before Martinez hangs it up this calendar year, I got to see her and Baszler run that shit back. Because as far as I was concerned, that was definitely a pretty damn good classic and everything. Martinez had a short little run on the NXT brand and everything. There, she was one of the participants that was involved in the vacant NXT Women's Championship, if I remember. Ultimately, Amber Moon winning it and all that. Martinez competed in the second Mae Young tournament. Defeated, I can't think of the girl's name now, but she ultimately got eliminated by Miko Satomura, which that actually was a pretty damn good match. And then pretty much after that, she was like done with WWE, and everything else was AEW for a hot year. Remember that? It was like 1 year basically, essentially. She was with AEW. Then she came back to WWE for like about a year. Then she went to Impact Wrestling for like about a year. And then she spent a couple of years in the ROH, AEW, and now we are where we are now and everything. I honestly wasn't feeling her last run in ROH, AEW. I felt that she had no business being paired up there with Jay Cargill and the whole Thunder Rosa stuff. I wasn't a fan of that whatsoever. Then when they had Martinez cross paths with Britt Baker, ah, just none of that, none of that. And then ultimately, Martinez and Rosa, they had like a tag team going on, and they were taking on Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. I mean, I didn't really mind that too much and all that. Martinez facing Willow Nightingale. That pretty much came shortly after Tony Khan had purchased ROH. It was a super card joint where they were trying to crown an interim ROH Women's Champion, and basically the winner of that would go on to face. Uh, I think Deanna Purrazzo was the actual champion or something like it was something weird that they did, but basically Martinez would Martinez would ultimately like. God, forgive me, guys. My brain's just kind of murky because that's where I start to like lose track. Because like the AEW ROH version back then, it was really hard to keep track of like who's doing what and where, and especially when at that point they had some of your favorite talents that you enjoyed seeing and they were helping out ROH. Like that's good, but now they're behind a paywall, right? And the only way you're going to be able to access what they were doing, you had to cough up money to see them and everything. Um, Martinez eventually coming back, attacking Madison Rain. And by the way, shout out to Madison Rain. After like 20 something years, Madison Rain is hanging up the boots. She pretty much has announced her retirement. That's someone that I've been watching for years upon years upon years. Did not always start off as an overall solid wrestler. That's the honest truth. But I mean, from my perspective, what I was seeing of her, she just continued to put in the work. Year in, year out. Was she a Gail Kim-esque type of wrestler or a Trish Stratus type of wrestler or a no, but she did improve leaps and bounds. But good for her. Good for her. It's kind of weird because I would have thought for sure that Madison Rain would have just bowed out at TNA Wrestling. I would have thought everything would have just the crescendo, everything would have went down at TNA, but unfortunately, it just was not meant to be. Kind of sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna miss Mercedes, man. Really, that's one of those. More should have happened with this one, but it just kind of seemed like the timing, the pacing, and you know, age didn't even matter for me by the time I saw her in NXT because I was like, no, the girl can still go. She can still hang with the best of them, but you look back as far as who all were in charge, way back when, and Lord only knows what would have happened if maybe Triple H would have had the power back then. If he definitely would have done a lot more with Mercedes Martinez. I tell you this much, in a perfect world, I definitely would have had Shayna Baszler and Mercedes Martinez as a 1-2 lethal punch tag team taking the women's division by force. I know they tried to do something with Shayna and Nia, and that was pretty decent for what it was worth. But man, oh man, if you would just start with just those two core members first that I mentioned, and then maybe at a later date, you add Nia Jax. Good God almighty. And then maybe you want to add Natalya to that mix as well. Oh man, that really would have been popping. That really would have been popping. All right, so right now we're at the 1 hour and the 43-minute mark. Before we get ready to dip on up out of here, I want to take this time out and I want to recognize one of our show sponsors here. It's actually a new one that I got a heads up about earlier today. I'm looking forward to working with them and everything. But hey, the RCWR show with Lee Sanders is brought to you in part by my girl over at Katrina Spiritual Counseling. .com. Katrina offers tarot and psychic love readings by phone or chat, backed by over 20 years experience. Her sessions provide straightforward, no sugarcoating insight into the past, present, and future relationship questions. Check her out. Give her a call at 877-275-7562. Once again, that's 877-275-7562. 7562, or you can visit katrinasspiritualcounseling.com. There's a new sponsor that I'm looking forward to working with. I want to see if I can pull up their information right now because I'm really excited to be working with these guys. Shout out to the good folks over at New Heights .it.com. Apparently, it's a travel site. You can book a car, airfare, hotel stays, do car rentals as well. So, New Heights, but you got to make sure you put the K in there. So, KNEW, New Heights .it.com. Check them out. They're a new partner, new friend of the show. So I definitely want you guys to represent and check them out. And then there's a couple of other potential sponsors we're supposed to be working with in the coming weeks as well. So let me give you guys some quick programming notes as far as what you guys can expect for programming notes. So later this week, I know me and Tams are going to be back on the saddle again. We're going to be recording a new Wrestling with the Topics. That'll definitely be happening this weekend. Looking forward to it. What else is going to be going down? Other than that, I knew I was forgetting something. I knew I was forgetting something. Friday, mark this down on your calendars for those of you that are fans of the Power TV franchise. I know that this Friday, January 9th, is going to be the series finale of Power Force. I cannot wait to see how everything plays out with the Tommy Egan character, whether or not the character is going to survive or not. I'm going to be staying up until midnight Friday night when the episode drops. And then immediately after that, I will be streaming live. I'll be doing a post show immediately, like an hour immediately after I get done watching the episode. Gonna do it pretty much like how we did Power Book 3 with Tariq St. Patrick. You know, that was a pretty good turnout, what we had for the series finale. So I'm looking forward to doing it again with you guys. Honestly, Power Force, this final third season, some of the most strongest writing this season, really. I mean, for me, the first season was just too damn slow. I was losing interest real quick. Season 2, they really started picking it up a notch, but season 3, particularly, the strongest yet. So, and you know, from those of you that actually ended up seeing the teaser for the series finale, you see Tommy say, "I gotta call in a favor." You know, that ties into pretty much the last time that we saw Tariq. We know that's the fucking favor. So I can't wait to see how all of that is gonna play out. For those of you that did not see Force's episode from last week, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but damn is all I got to say. Just big old damn. That's all I'm going to say. So Friday, there's going to be the Power Force live post-show reaction to the finale. And then during the weekend, me and Tams will be riding the saddle again for the first Wrestling with the Topics for the new calendar year. And then I'll be coming back Monday, January 12th. Remember, Raw next Monday is going to be live from Germany. So it's going to be coming on at 2 in the afternoon. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to come on live at 8 p.m. Eastern. There's a part of me that's thinking maybe we should just come on at 10 p.m., make it easier for folks to do what they need to do, watch Raw, and then so I'll poll you guys. Like, we could either do a 8 p.m. live post show if it works better for those of you that's going to be around live, or if you guys maybe want a 10 p.m. show, we could do it like that, or just be live as soon as the event is over. You know, we can definitely do it that way too. I kind of have a feeling if I were to just kind of look into the crystal ball and predict how you guys are maybe going to vote, y'all are probably going to say no, do a live post show as soon as it actually wraps up. And I wouldn't blame you for that. But we'll do that. And yeah, you know, the Lee Sanders Awards is now live. So look at the episode description and vote. Or you can just hop on Twitter or Facebook and you can follow the link that way. Any questions, any concerns as you're filling out the voting, just circle back. Let me know. Happy to help you out. Be kind. Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR show. And until next go round, my pretty babies, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Take care.